ॐ ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविरावीर्म एधी वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। श्रीकृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Chapter 3, verse number 7 of Bhagavad Gita, where we left in the last session. We will read the verse first, then we'll continue from where we left in the last session in terms of explaining the meaning of that verse, and then we'll move on to the next verse, verse number 8. Verse number 7. यस्त्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभते अर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते. यस्त्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभते अर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते. So we were seeing different aspects of this particular verse as expounded by Bhagwan, Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna. And where we left in the last session, I was explaining you Karma Yoga, and the verse of Upadesh Sar I have brought up before I completed the session in the last one. And I'll read that verse of Upadesh Sar again. Is the fourth verse of Upadesh Sar, and Upadesh Sar is a text which has been given by Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, authored by Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. And those of you who are not familiar with Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi was a realized master who used to stay in south of India in a place called Arunachalam, where his ashram is there. So he was so much Vedantic that he left his home in very early childhood and spent his entire time at Arunachalam, and there only he realized and became one with Brahman, the way we say it. So his texts are direct to the point. So Upadesh Sar is one such text which expounds about all the path of Vedanta, and all the path of realization, which is Karma Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. All four paths are mentioned there, but it's like succinct in the sense it's very brief, and he talks to the point. So the verse number 4 I brought up in the last session when I was talking about Karma Yoga as expounded by Bhagwan in this particular verse. So the verse Updesh Sar I brought out was Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japas Chintanam Kramat. So that's the verse of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, where he expounds about the thing that three things we have is Kaya, Vang, and Manaha. So Kaya means body, Vang means speech, and Manaha means the mind. So Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi says that with these three faculties which we have, which can be invested correctly to grow vertically while living here in this world, and the best things or karyam uttamam, the best tasks which could be used, which could be done using these three faculties are in the same order which Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi said, Kaya and Vang and Manaha. With Kaya, with body, the best act or best action we can do is pujanam, means offering prayer to Bhagwan or devotional service to Bhagwan. Vang, which is the faculty of speech, the best thing which we can do is as a service to Bhagwan, as a karma yoga to Bhagwan, is japa. Japa means chanting the name of Lord. Chanting means the japa, which we using the beats which we do, that you just close your eyes and use the words inside your head to do japa. You can do loud also, you can do silent also. Japa is the one which can be the best task to be done with the faculty of speech is actually japa. And the best thing which can be done with the faculty called mind or faculty of mind is chintanam. Chintana means thinking. Thinking what? Thinking not on the objects, as Bhagwan mentioned about the hypocrite in the last verse, that sitting and controlling the organs of action. This person is sitting idle there, and with this mind, he's constantly engaged thinking about the objects. That is not what Chintanam Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi is talking about here. Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi says, with mind, the best act or the best action that can be done is Thinking about God, thinking about supreme consciousness, thinking about supreme self. What do you mean by thinking about God? When you think about God, about God or is has got different facets. First is thinking about the leelas of Bhagwan. And I also said in the podcast episode earlier once, I spoke about Leela is actually for, or raising devotion towards God. Leenati iti Leela, that which generates devotion inside you with Bhagwan. Remember, Leelas of Bhagwan we cannot enact. We cannot copy that. We cannot follow that in life. Because Bhagwan is so high, supreme consciousness, God is so high, Leelas can only be done by them. Like I gave you the example over there is Putana Moksham, that Bhagwan Krishna, supreme consciousness Bhagwan Krishna, when he was a small baby, at that time Bhagwan gave salvation to Putana. He killed Putana, who had poisoned her milk and wanted to feed Bhagwan and kill Bhagwan in his childhood days itself. But what happened? Bhagwan sucked the life out of her. Now that's a Leela. We all can't follow that. We all can't, what do you call about, we all can't protect ourselves that way anyway. So that only Bhagwan can do. The same thing like Bhagwan Ram killed Ravana. Can we do it? No, we can't enact those leelas. Bhagwan Krishna had so many leelas which have been there, like Brahmaji's Garvaharan Leela, Indra Garvaharan Leela, which is Govardhan Leela. Those are all leelas. Leelas are to show what supreme consciousness God is all about. It is for us to realize that He's God in a human form. Don't confuse yourself thinking that just because he seems to be in a human body, don't do mistakenly consider him as a human being. Some people they say, Rama is like had a his Rama's life was a disastrous life. I'm sorry, I don't agree to that fact. Rama was not a human being for us to say that. Now that's one thing which Bhagwan does when he incarnates on the earth. Leela. Leela is for us to raise our level of devotion, to understand who really God is, to understand that God, being God, He already has all the supernatural powers to do all those Leelas, which we cannot. Then the second thing which Bhagwan does when he incarnates in this world to to relieve us from this world or uplift us from this world, when Bhagwan incarnates, the second thing which he does is charitra. Charitra means he will show all the things which we as a human being should follow by showing in his own character. There are many things you will see. One thing I can talk about Bhagwan Rama, you will see he was like Eka Patni Vrata, number one. He, how he obeyed the orders of his father. What was his relationship with his brother? How did he think about the brother? For brother, he could give up his kingdom. He didn't fight with the brother for kingdom. That who the hell is Bharat and all those kind. He didn't do that. No, those things which Bhagwan do as charitra is for us as human beings to follow, because charitra is those things which can be followed by us in this human body, and we should follow. Bhagwan Krishna, one thing I'll tell you, honestly, this thing I really bring out, and I think many storytellers about Bhagwan Krishna and who talks about Bhagwan Krishna or gives talks about Bhagwan Krishna definitely talks this facet. You see, the whole life of Bhagwan Krishna, so many things, so-called ups and downs you could see in life. From the childhood itself, there were so many attempts to eliminate him, kill him. So many things were sent by his uncle Kamsa. But the beauty of Bhagwan Krishna is, in the middle of everything in his life, he always had that $1,000,000 smile. Now, it is something which we can think of. I know it's not easy to follow, but yes, we can work towards it. All the things which come and go in life are things which have come and they have to go. But can we work towards maintaining that smile? When we smile at life and life situation, trust me, That is when the situations of life fail in front of us. And that's what through the charitra of Bhagavan Krishna he has shown. He stayed in Vrindavan, then he stayed in Mathura, then he went all the way to Dwarka. His life, as you will see, the life he lived here, of course, he possessed supernatural powers. One can give that at logic, saying that he had supernatural powers, so he could do that. How can we do that? But no, that's not the thing. Whatever charitra Bhagwan followed here, whatever character he showed here, those things we can definitely follow. Forget about the supernatural things that is exclusive to Bhagwan, because he possesses supernatural powers, and he is the supreme consciousness himself who is incarnated here, so he can do those. But like Bhagwan Shiva, he's Ashutosh. He can bless us with anything. He can bless us with liberation. So that so can be done by Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Rama. They can do that. They can uplift a devotee to any level because they have that power. And to show that power is what Leela comes. So Leenati iti Leela, which makes us melt into Bhagwan, which makes us one single pointed focused into Bhagwan, which makes us mesmerized by Bhagwan, which makes us understand who he is and accept his power and start to work towards growing in love and devotion for Bhagwan. To grow in love and devotion is what Leela is for. And Charitra is for us to follow so that we can cleanse ourselves while doing our duties in this life. Like I tell you, Bhagwan Rama, his life is full of character. That's why one of the things which is said about Bhagwan Rama's life is it's a Charitra avatar. Everything is followable by human being. Everything. The way he used to have love, respect towards his parents. Bhagwan Rama never hated Kaikeyi, by the way. Let me tell you, even though Bharat became angry with, Bharatji became angry with his mother Kaikeyi, but Bhagwan Ram had not even a wee bit of hatred or anger towards Kaikeyi. When Kaikeyi was standing apart, when they came to meet in the forest, Bhagwan Ram went to Mother Kaikeyi and says, "Why are you standing in separately? Please don't think that I blame you for anything which I am going through." No. And Bhagwan Ram's statement is there when he says, it's all a play of Prarabdha. Even though Bhagwan has got no Prarabdha, by the way. Don't confuse the avatars or incarnations of Bhagwan that they are human beings and they have to face life according to us. No, it's not. Their Leela is, their purpose of coming here is very clear, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. What? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I keep on incarnating again and again, again and again. This is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma, where the role of God is so clearly mentioned. Dharma is one which Bhagwan has kept here, or which Bhagwan has established in this creation, which is going to be helping in running this creation smoothly. Whenever Dharma gets suppressed or starts to get down or starts to get eliminated, Bhagwan will incarnate to re-establish Dharma, because Dharma is the one which is running this whole creation. And I've explained this when I was talking about the Upodghat in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, which Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji has mentioned. Very beautifully is mentioned there. So Sanatan Dharma needs to be understood in its correct import. So Leela is for us to get mesmerized and understand the power of Bhagwan. The problem with us today is human being has become so egoistic, thinks that he is all powerful and controls the whole world. Those who feel like that, think like that, trust me, they are the biggest fools on this earth. They are really making a fool of themselves. They don't understand we are only a minuscule portion in this whole creation. We have not made this creation, we have also come in this creation, and we will also end up going from this creation. But what we do from the time we came until the time we go is what will make a difference, whether we actually have contributed anything to us also or not. Forget about the world. Forget about the contribution to the world. the first thing you need to remember is, have you really contributed to yourself to go? When you go from here, don't let others be proud so much. That's not important. While if you've done good work, they will definitely be proud of you. They will definitely make sure that your name is there. But the most important thing is that when you look back at yourself, do you feel satisfied that I contributed to myself, that why I was sent in a human body, I could vertically grow in a level that I'm going into higher life, not come back as an animal again into the life. Those things we need to understand. So Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi says it so beautifully, that with these three faculties we all have as human beings: kaya, vang, and mana. What makes one human being different from other human being is how we have invested these faculties, how we have invested the energy of these faculties, how we have invested the capabilities of these faculties while living here in the life. I'm telling you honestly, with Wang, there are some people, they always are scolding somebody or the other, always have got bad words for others. What are they doing for themselves? Forget about what impact is there on the others. But have you ever thought what those things, negative words, have impact on you? Because it's coming out from you. You are the first person bearing it. And do you think by throwing negative words on others, you are safe and sound and pure? I'm sorry, don't fool yourself. So that's why he says, with these three faculties, the best action that could be done is with kaya, do pujanam, offer or worship and service towards God. With Vang, with faculty of speech, do japa. With faculty of mind, do chintanam, thinking on the leelas and charitra of Bhagwan. With leelas, understand how I can grow in devotion to God. With charitra, you see what all Bhagwan showed here, I can imbibe in my life, so that I have a clean intent and I go back a purer being than how I came here. See, this is how I'll use the word. At least I have the responsibility to make myself more pure than I have come here with. I did not have the purity, that's why I'm again born as a human being. But I at least have the choice to make myself more pure and before I go from here. So, through these things, what we need to understand is, what is Karma Yoga? The essence of Karma Yoga we need to understand is, as we move along in the life, when a person's aham means the ego of a person, the I-ness of the person converts itself and becomes, rather than me all the time, becomes I am no one but a devotee of God. Bhaktah aham. That aham should get replaced with bhaktah aham. I am a devotee of Bhagwan. We should convert that aham into that. That is when we will become capable, we will become eligible to actually do karma yoga. Without that, karma yoga is not possible. If we have too much aham in us, that I am doing this, I am doing this thing, I am the one who's, if I'm not there, nothing can be done. If I go, I'm telling you, this world will fall apart. All those thoughts are just a hallucination in your mind. We have to convert that thought to this point, that I am no one but a devotee of Bhagwan. And my only purpose is in this life is, whatever I do, whether the duties come to me, whether I firefight with my situations which come in my life, or whether I'm constantly struggling with things, but at the end of the day, my identification should be very clear, that I'm a devotee of Bhagwan, and whatever I do, I'm doing it for the happiness of Bhagwan. Till the time we convert this aham, this ego of ourself, this I-ness of ourself into bhakta aham, trust me, karma yoga is never ever possible by us at all. Srimad Bhagavat. When I say Srimad Bhagavat, I think many people are not aware of these things. So there are two things. The text I am taking now is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is given by Bhagwan, and it's a teaching of the path of knowledge and the entire Vedantic philosophy by Bhagwan himself in Bhagwan's words. But when I say Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita are not the same thing. Huh? Those of you who do not know, many of you know already, but I'm telling you because some people have come back to me and asked this question also, that what is Srimad Bhagavatam you're talking about. Whenever I use the word Srimad Bhagavatam, you need to understand I'm talking about the 18th Purana. We have 18 Puranas in Sanatan Dharma. I mean, Shiv Puran, Devi Puran, Bhavishya Puran, Surya Puran. We have 18 Puranas. The 18th of them, or the last of all the Puranas, is Srimad Bhagavatam. And even though all the Puranas have been written by Vedavyas ji, but many of those Puranas, even though have been written by Vedavyas ji, but Srimad Bhagavatam is compared by Vedavyas ji. It's an exclusive work of him. So Srimad Bhagavatam talks about the entire creation and everything in a story form. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the property of Karma Yoga which is mentioned there is Murti Puja, when we worship the idol of Bhagwan. Now, many of you, the thing is, the moment we hear Murti Puja, I do not know why some people are allergic to that word, because they have not grown in that culture correctly. Now, Murti Puja also, I should bring that point since I'm on that topic right now. What is Murti Puja? Murti Puja is worshipping in the idol of Bhagwan. Why idol of Bhagwan? What is idol worship? There are many other religions who put down idol worship of Hinduism, but they also don't understand anything about it. We ourselves have a form. All of us are in form. So somebody went to my Puja Guruji and asked him, why should I worship the form of Bhagwan? So Puja Guruji in his stern manner asked him, forget about that question right now for a moment. Answer me, are you with form or without form? So he said, Swamiji, what are you saying? Of course, I am without form. So he said, before moving to formless to worship, first you make yourself formless or understand yourself as formless first. So you want to be in form, but you want to worship a formless God. That's a very strange thing. First, understand that you are formless. Remove your form first before removing the form of Bhagwan. Now remember, Supreme Consciousness is definitely formless. And since he is formless, he has got the capability to take many forms, which is what we call as incarnations or avatars. We have no right to deny any of them. And if we deny, actually we are denying ourselves, to be honest with you. We those people who deny the existence of God, actually, trust me, our Vedanta says it very clearly. They are such a big fool, they're actually denying their own existence, because supreme consciousness is existence, consciousness, bliss, is that's the principle of supreme consciousness. So denying that means denying you. So you can continue to do that. So Puja's Guruji said, first move yourself from the form to the formless. When you start understanding yourself as formless, you are ready to worship formless. Till then, choose one Ishta Devata and start worshipping form. And now the second thing I will say is, God is all pervasive, right? Bhagavad Gita also says that very clearly. God is all pervasive. If God is all pervasive and he is present everywhere, is he not present in the form or the idol? How can you say that? Do you understand what you're talking? But remember, why idol worship sometimes gives us benefit, especially when in temples and all, because temples and all have got daily puja and archana going on for that idol. So the auspiciousness of that idol increases. The effulgence of that idol increases. That's why many times with people with disturbed mind, when they go to temple, their mind is forced to become calm, because there is daily worship going on there. The chaitanyam of that of Bhagwan is so clearly felt in the temple. That is the importance of temple worship, especially in Sanatan Dharma. So here Srimad Bhagavat says pujanam. Why do we do prayers? Prayer is not, you are not doing a favor on Bhagwan by doing prayer. prayer you are doing for yourself. Please understand. Don't go to temple thinking that you are doing a favor by going to the temple. You are not. Bhagwan is happy without you also. He has nothing to gain in the world. He already has everything. He has everything, including you also. Why should he worry? He has got nothing to worry. Idol worship and worship is actually for us. Prayer is for us to grow and develop. Why do we do prayer? Why do Srimad Bhagavatam says Karma Yoga, the property of Karma Yoga is Murti Pujanam. Now, when we worship the idol of Bhagwan, why it is called Karma Yoga? Need to understand. Whenever we worship the idol of Bhagwan, we are actually developing closeness to Bhagwan. We are right now, we are far-fetched from Bhagwan. We think that he is somebody sitting in some different far-flung heaven or somewhere, and on call, provided he has mercy on me, he will come and visit me. Otherwise, he is sitting there and enjoying that place. I'm sorry, Sanatan Dharma's concept of God is not that at all. God for Sanatan Dharma is here right with us, right in here with us. We don't have to go anywhere for him. But can you feel him? No, you cannot. That's why you have to start with something. To the start of that is Pujanam. Pujanam is actually nothing but increasing closeness to Bhagwan, considering Bhagwan, the supreme consciousness, as somebody who belongs to you, somebody who is your well-wisher, somebody who loves you, somebody who's there to help you. That is the purpose of Pujanam. We are developing a relationship with Bhagwan. Today, we are cut off from Bhagwan. We think Bhagwan is something else, and he is not somebody who's available to me, because we are far from him. Bhagwan is not far from us. Actually, we are far from him, and who has made it Bhagwan far from us? We ourselves. We have separated us from him. He is always available to everyone in this creation. So the purpose of Murti Puja or the purpose of Pujanam is actually working towards developing a relationship with God. We have to understand that we have to create this. When a relationship with God is established, that is when we would start to love working for him. As long as you have no relationship with God, you cannot work for him. You cannot work for someone who you do not know. You cannot work for someone who is not related to you. You cannot work for someone who you do not have place in your life for. You cannot work for someone who you have no love and devotion towards. So love and devotion towards God is the starting point of Karma Yoga. That is why Srimad Bhagavat says Karma Yoga as Murti Puja. When we have closeness established to God, that is when we'll start enjoying and working for God. We'll start enjoying all the aspects of working for God. Now, the best aspect of this devotion is, just think of a thing, just think of a situation when you work for someone else, but the happiness and bliss comes to you, means the ananda comes to you. Even though you are working for someone else, the result is going to someone else. You're working for someone else means what? You don't want the result, you want let the result go to somebody else. But just think of a situation, just think of what do you call that? Think of a uh, incident, think of an event that where you work for someone else, but the actual ananda, the actual bliss or happiness comes to you. This is what should happen with all of us. This incident should happen with all of us. This event should happen with all of us. This celebration should happen with all of us. This incident should happen with all of us. That is what Karma Yoga is. And if we work for someone else, and if we work, but we don't enjoy it, we don't feel happy about it, remember, you cannot call that as Karma Yoga at all. You may call that as social service, but you definitely cannot call that as Karma Yoga at all. That is one thing we need to understand about Karma Yoga, and that is why I'm taking time to explain this particular verse 3.7. Having understood this, now let's see why, even though we say that we are devoted to God, or we say that we have devotion to God, what are the obstacles that, in spite of us thinking that we have devotion for God, but we are not able to do Karma Yoga? Now I should peel down on that aspect also. Let's try to explore that side, because one thing I'll tell you honestly here, there are many people amongst us who think that we are devotees. Okay, we think we are devotees, but we should see from the perspective of God, that does He consider us as devotees also or not? That is why I'm trying to bring out why many of us who say that we are devotees, but we are not able to do Karma Yoga in our life. I'll tell you what are the factors which blocks us doing Karma Yoga in spite of having some amount of devotion for God. The biggest thing which comes as obstacle is that, in spite of having some amount of devotion for God, we are heavily loaded with our own resolves in life. I want to do this, I want to do that, no, after that I will do that, I will do that. I want my sankalpa, my resolves to be fulfilled. Okay, that's the first thing. And according to that, I have my own plans in life. Okay, now hear it minutely, because I'm trying to bring out some aspects of devotion, why some people don't succeed to do Karma Yoga in spite of having devotion for God. Many of us, I'm telling you, amongst the listeners also, I'm sure many of us have got devotion for God. Many of us have got love and respect for God. Many of us do devotional activities for God. But we feel this problem that we are not able to do Karma Yoga. That is the obstacle I'm trying to bring out here. Now, see, what are the things we have? We are loaded with already. Devotion is just one more thing additional in our agenda, in our planner, in our calendar. But our main thing is, we are very heavily loaded with sankalpa, our own resolves, and we have too many plans for our life. We have planned many things in our life. When now see where the things go haywire. We are devoted to God when our God helps me fulfill my own resolves, and I see that my God is favorable towards my own resolves and my own plans. Till that time, everything is okay. My devotion is also protected. Where the problem comes, the moment we see that God is against our plan, or pratikul is the word we use in you know Hindi. When God is not in line with our plan and our resolves, that is when we will, Puja Gurudev used to say it very beautifully. Many of us who are devotees of Bhagwan, we have altar for Bhagwan and we have worship Bhagwan every day and all those things. But the moment situations go haywire in my life, the first one to be thrown out of my house or my window is going to be the God sitting in my altar. That much is how my devotion is. I'm telling you honestly, I can tell this to you because I've seen as a personal experience in my life also. When I was under the under the able guidance of my guru, under the grace and blessings of my guru, I've seen this happening around me also. With God and Guru, you must remember this thing. This is the biggest mishap which happens with most of the people who call them so-called devotees. Okay, with God and Guru both. Whenever some person goes to Guru, as long as Guru goes according to what I wish, as long as Guru says yes to what I plan, Guru says yes, or puts his stamp on everything I present to him, everything is perfectly hunky dory. He is the best Guru available, and I may sing about his glory to many other people. I may motivate many others to go to that Guru also. Till when? The day Guru says no to what is presented, and says, no, this plan is completely wrong, you should not do this, that is when your actual test of devotion comes. What guru? What does he know about the worldly life? How can he even say that? I don't think he has experience in the actual professional world also. I don't think he knows what I'm talking about. I, you know, I think Guru may be well known with scriptures, but when it comes to, life and life situations, I don't think he's well equipped with it. Probably he's sitting in an ascetic manner, sitting here in the, what you call that, ochre robes and all. He's sitting there. I think he's completely cut off from the word. He doesn't understand and what I was saying. Because this superhuman being or this superman thinks that whatever his resolve is correct, and Guru also doesn't know what from what extent I was talking about. Guru didn't understand from which part of the world I was talking, from which level I was talking. I think Guru could not come down to my level at all to understand. Unless and until he comes down, he always keeps sitting at such a high level. I don't think he understands us also. This is the biggest mishap which happens in a guru disciple relationship also, and a god devotee relationship also. The moment we see that God is not with us in our plan, we start thinking, our ego starts thinking, then I don't want such God, then I don't want such guru. Puja, what do you call that? Our in the Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas ji had said one verse in Ramcharitmanas, Agya Samna Susahib Seva. He says, Agya Samna Susahib Seva. Following the order of a guru or one who you are devoted towards, there is nothing better to grow in life than that. But he said, but the one who you are following should be a Susahib, Sushtu Sahib. Susahib means he should be a good master. You don't end up following Ravan and say that, I have been following all his orders, but you do not choose the master correctly then. Just following any master is not what is spoken about. See, Goswami Tulsidas ji, whatever he says, he's very clear in his communication what he actually means. He didn't say Sahib Seva. He didn't say just go and serve any master, and following the order of any master is what is going to help you grow in life. No, that's not what it is. He said Agya Samna Su Sahib Seva. When you choose the master correctly, the master who is following the path, the correct path, the master who you see that is following what he's preaching, the master who you see that he actually is not only talking for the for giving a lecture or anything, he actually follows things in life. That kind of a master, you just follow the order of the master and you will definitely grow in life. Sometimes I'm telling you, I have also seen, even though I'm very small, so to say, and I've seen with my Guruji also, I've seen with myself also, even though I'm very small, or to say that, some people, when you communicate with them, you said something in a different level altogether, they completely misunderstand this. And, and remember one thing, Guru will never go back and correct your thinking after that. It's you who have to come. Why? Guru is available to you. Even when you have misunderstood a Guru never went far from you. He was always available to you. You just go to him with the correct thought. If you don't understand something, sometimes what people does a big mistake is, when they don't understand something, rather than going and clarifying that, they think that what they thought is correct only. Remember, Guru is not like us who talks from our level. Whatever a guru says has got a different level, and they are correct. They are well thought after actually. They are correct from their perspective, but we may not understand. Rather, we misunderstand and we go far. Who is at loss? We ourselves. So, my Puja Guruji told one incident, so sweet of Puja Guruji to say that Puja Guruji said, when Puja Gurudev was there, and I was also in the committee of that ashram there. So many a times, whatever I used to propose, Puja Gurudev used to say, yeah, this is perfect, just go ahead with it. So, Puja Guruji said, only realize master can talk like that and share such things. So Puja Guruji said, I used to be very happy But I didn't understand that my mind is growing towards this fact that, whatever I say will get accepted. And there come that, Big Bang Theory. They said one day, eh, I presented something and Puja Gurudev outrightly rejected. He said, no, that's not correct at all. Now, in the committee, it got rejected. He said, even though Gurudev said, I didn't say anything, I walked back, but my mind became disturbed. He said, you know, I do not know what happened to my Gurudev. This is where the mistaken understanding starts to work. But you see my Puja Guruji's beauty. He said, I am so blessed that Gurudev's blessing was there, that evening I went out for a walk. When I went out for a walk, the thought which popped up my mind, by the grace and blessings of Bhagwan, God, by grace and blessings of scriptures and the study I have done of the scriptures, by the grace and blessings of my Gurudev, a sudden thought came into my mind: who is the master, you or Gurudev? Immediately, my Guruji said that my mind became quiet. The moment this right question sparked, actually, who is the master, you or Gurudev? If Gurudev is the master, then why, if he said that this is not correct, are you disturbed? You are only serving him. Gurudev is not serving you. He said, after that I realized, and Puja Guruji said, after that point, it never ever hit me. It never hit me, rather things became much smoother and easier for me. This is how a guru and a disciple relationship should be. Many a times what Guru says we may not understand. But remember, Guru has got no, what you call that, personal agenda to tell you. Guru has got no personal agenda for you at all. What Guru says, you got connected by the grace of God. Guru is working for God. If he is helping you also, that's a way of him serving his God. So why will he have a personal agenda for you? You are a fool to think like that. And remember, your misunderstanding is your problem. There is nothing going to go wrong for Guru at all. The same thing happens for God also. If you misunderstand God, there is nothing which is going to go wrong for God. It's you who are at loss. You have lost a big chance of ways of ending to, of moving forward in this human life, growing in this human life, contributing to your vertical growth. By defying God, by misunderstanding God, you have cut off that channel completely. Now, I'll tell you, in India, you would have heard a lot of incidents. They say that, cloud burst happened. I do not know why this simile came into my mind. There are a lot of incidents in the north of India which has happened recently, where the cloud burst happened and the entire road to that area got cut off for many days. Remember one thing, this is that same cloud burst happens to many of us many a times. But we only see the cloudburst outside. We don't see the cloudburst inside us. Remember, the way cloudburst triggers blockage to roads or paths leading to a destination and triggering landslides, blocking it further, where for us to reach our destination. In the same way, internal cloudbursts like this of misunderstanding, lack of faith and all, actually triggers landslide and washes away many paths for us to walk towards the Guru or God. Guru is sitting peacefully in his place. He don't want you actually. He is already working for God. He is already growing in love and devotion for God. He is always near God. He don't want you, but he is still trying to help you coming out of the way, so that what he is experiencing, you are also able to experience. And just see what foolishness we do. We end up misunderstanding Guru and we only cut off our path. Our path is washed away, and for many years, many months and all, it takes time to correct that path and make. So remember one thing, I to very loud and clear tell people, whosoever misunderstands, comes to me, and when I say something misunderstands me, I never go and clarify anything to them at all. Your misunderstanding is your problem, not mine. If you understand, it's good for you. If you misunderstand, it's bad for you. So there is nothing which is going to go away from me. By God's grace, my God is there with me. His blessing is, his grace and blessing is with me. So I have no problem. You work towards your faith. It's your choice. You came to a guru, you went to a guru with your choice. You walk away from guru also, with your choice. Guru will never obstruct your choice at all, will never point out at your choice. It's your choice who you want to accept your guru, who you want to go with your guru, whether you want to go to the guru, don't want to go to the guru. It's entirely your choice. It's entirely your prerogative. That will decide whether you will actually gain or lose. So you have to think and decide. That is what happens here. The moment we see God is against or not with us in our plan, immediately the same Swami, same Susahib, who we called as Susahib earlier, but same God we will convert within ourselves as Kusahib. Kusahib means a bad master. Susahib means a good master. So we will only convert him into a bad master, and we'll end up discontinuing our devotion. We'll end up walking away from him ourselves. This is our biggest weakness of most of us in this world, and it actually emanates from ego. First of all, you know devoting to a guru itself, you have to suppress your ego, because you have to place somebody higher than you. Then only you can devote, right? You don't devote to your equal being. You don't devote yourself to your friend. You don't devote your Puja Gurudev used to say this very beautifully. You don't devote yourself. You don't say that I'm devoted to my wife. You don't say I'm devoted to my friend. You don't say I'm devoted to my children. You don't say I'm devoted to my parents. You have to place somebody higher first. You can only get devoted to people who are higher, to beings who are higher, to divinity who is higher. That divinity actually is God. So this is our biggest weakness. And till the time, as long as a man is able to move away from this weakness, that so long as man is able to move away from this weakness of his, so as long as he's able to do that, so long only he will be able to move away or dispense away the power of his sankalpa or resolves. Otherwise, we are constantly engaged in fulfilling our desires, our plans, executing our plans, and we are so much into it actually. And then the best example I can give you for this is our Hanumanji. This is the best example of a devotee I can give you who in Sanatan Dharma. Hanumanji. Hanumanji is somebody who is sitting at the pinnacle of Karma Yoga. Remember the beauty of Hanumanji. The best thing of Hanumanji is that he has got no sankalpa of his own. Since he has got no sankalpa or no desires of his own, no resolves of his own, he is fully available to do the work of Bhagwan. Ram kaj karibe ko atur. This is the line which comes in Hanuman Chalisa, no? Ram kaj karibe ko atur. He is always eager to do any work for Bhagwan. Why? Because he has got no sankalpa, no resolve of his own. That is what we need to think of. So that's why there is a big story also which comes about Naradji and Hanumanji. I do not know whether you know of it or not. I'll bring it out here because I'm talking about Hanumanji here. Once Naradji went to Vaikunt and asked Bhagwan that Bhagwan, many people may say that I am the biggest devotee of Bhagwan and all those things, but I want to know who you consider as devotee. So who Bhagwan, according to you, who are your devotees? So Bhagwan, I want to know who are your or biggest devotees according to you. So Bhagwan Narayana, Bhagwan Vishnu said, Narad, there is a list which is there on the bedside. You just see in that list, it's there. So when Naradji saw, he saw Naradji's name is on the top. You see, this is a story. Understand, this is a story. There is a reason I'm bringing it out. Don't try to now go and start comparing and putting down Naraji. Naraji is a very divine being, and with his grace, you can really reach God. By the way, let me tell you upfront. That is why there is a Narad Bhakti Sutra also. So Naraji's name was on the top. He looked through the entire list and he was a little shocked that Hanumanji's name is not there in the list. So, said Bhagwan, who are your biggest devotees? The list is there, in that Hanumanji's name is not there. So Naraji ran to Hanumanji and said, because he want to, be upman in that, I am bigger than you types. Hanumanji, today I went to Bhagwan and I asked him, who are the, do you have a list of devotees and then who are your biggest devotees and all? So this list is there, but I'm a little shocked why your name is not there. So you see Hanumanji's answer there. Huh? Hanumanji said, it doesn't matter. I don't worship Bhagwan to come in any list of devotees. It doesn't matter if I'm there also or not. Naraji is shocked that Hanumanji didn't feel about it also or not. Naraji was not satisfied with Hanumanji's response, so he ran back to Bhagwan Narayana. He said, Bhagwan, I think there is a small mistake which has happened from you. He said, what? What mistake? Bhagwan, this list of devotees which you gave me, Hanumanji's name is not there. So Bhagwan laughed. Because Bhagwan knew all these things because he can see everything in and out. He said, Narad, you did not take the correct list. There is another list which is lying there on the next to it, who I consider as devotees. And there he saw Hanumanji's name is on the top there. So how important it is if I consider myself as devotee to Bhagwan. But it is more important that whether Bhagwan considers me as his devotee also or not. Now, is the biggest thing is the beauty of Bhagwan is he is so high. He is the master of this whole creation. He is so high. He is completely filled with everything. But see the beauty and see the compassion and mercy of Bhagwan, that he still looks up to us and considers ourselves as devotee. That itself is a big thing. It's the grace and blessing of Bhagwan. It is not important whether I consider myself as devotee of Bhagwan also or not, but it is utmost important whether he considers me anywhere near any devotee also or not. There are so many great devotees of Bhagwan where we can think that we will even be able to enter that list somewhere. Even if Bhagwan is able to give us a corner of his eye, that is more than enough for us to cross the ocean of samsara. So that's how we should think of Bhagwan. So if we think that we want to progress with our resolves, we want to fulfill our resolves, and we want to complete our plans, and we say, and we want to call it as bhakti, I'm sorry, we are highly mistaken. We cannot call that at bhakti at all, because if we consider that as a devotion or service to God, that is actually a lack of understanding within ourselves. We have not understood things correctly, and Bhagwan has told us how to remove this weakness of us, and for that Bhagwan has given one single line here, one single sentence here. He used what? Asaktaha. As I mentioned about Hanumanji, the beauty of Hanumanji is he does not have any resolve. Why? Hanumanji is asaktaha. Asakta means not attached to anything. He is not attached to anything except God. Remember, there is a question which comes in the mind of many people, that many people ask my Guruji also this question. Guruji, if I am attached to God and I am not attached to anything, how will I do my duty towards my wife, my children and all? So my Guruji said, try it yourself and see it yourself, experience it yourself. He said, remember one thing, when you are devoted to God, you will end up doing your duty better than, and when you are not devoted to God and you are devoted or attached to all these things rather God, when you start getting attached to God, remember, the power of fulfilling duties also Bhagwan only will give. many situations we end up firefighting, he will only help us come over it. What we can do, we are so small in this whole creation. What situation can we resolve our own situations? Forget about helping others and all. So Bhagwan said the only way to remove this weakness within us is actually by becoming asakta. That's the secret of it. Those people who are free from attachment and completely free from attachment, devoid of attachment, who are asakta, remember that person will have no resolve of his or her own. And the day this happens, remember that day there will be no blocking factors for us to follow Karma Yoga. The day this happens, we are able to become asakta. This word asakta is actually a very, very precious word. Why? Because this is going to be the nurturing factor of Karma Yoga. And this is what is going to help us establish Karma Yoga within us. Those people, or that one who is able to achieve this level of becoming asakta, free or devoid of all kinds of attachment, remember that person definitely will be special in this creation. That person will definitely be a superhuman, will be extraordinary in this creation. He will definitely not fall into the category of a common man. When I say common man is actually a word which is used at many levels, but I'm trying to say is that he's not a normal person. When I say normal also, there is one thing which comes into my mind. Puja Guruji only said, one time some Amma came from a university, and she was doing a study on the factors which create stress and things, depression and other things to mind. So she was trying to get some questionnaire filled out of the seekers who have come for the spiritual session of Puja Guruji. So he came to Swamiji and said, Swamiji, I want, there are all these people are seekers, they must be practicing puja, japa, dhyana and all those things. And this is a questionnaire which we are doing on the, mental capability of people, and how, well, these people also face stress, and if yes, how do you resolve it and all. So we are doing a questionnaire we want them to fill. Swamiji, can you please distribute it amongst your students here? So she said okay, but the moment she turned back, I think she suddenly realized something. She said, Swamiji, but give it to normal people. So Swamiji looked at this Amma and said, Amma, what do you mean? No, Swamiji, sorry, I didn't mean that way. So you mean that abnormal people are sitting here? So Amma said, no, I mean, Swamiji, the people who come here are, all kind of people. So give it to those who are new to spirituality, not those who are established. So Swamiji looked at Amma and said, Amma, if you consider them like this, I don't know what you consider me. So I will be like, you will be looking at me like a completely abnormal person. So that Amma corrected and said, no, Swamiji, you are not abnormal. Please forgive me for my words. Actually, I didn't mean that. Actually, Swamiji, you are above normal. Then Amma only corrected that statement. Swamiji, you are above normal. Swamiji said, thank God you at least said that. So when I say normal people, why I brought out, because I don't want you to end up taking a different meaning altogether. So when I say normal people mean those who are not well versed into all these things. The other people like saints and realized masters, they are all above normal. So when we say normal, there has to be above normal also, there has to be below normal also. Those people who are doing animalistic activities and all, you will call them below normal only. What do you call them? What do you call them? What do you call terrorists and other people? They are below normal only. So asakta is a very, very important facet. The moment somebody becomes asakta, trust me, definitely this person will become special in this creation. Definitely this person will become extraordinary in this creation. Definitely this person will gain superhuman powers. I didn't say supernatural powers, superhuman powers. And such person will be able to do much more in limited time also, because of that superhuman capability which has been developed. He will definitely never remain in common man or normal, or fall into the category of common man. He will definitely not that. He will always remain special. Now you see, we human beings, how much opposite path we work. uh, when we talk about Bhagwan, how much opposite of what Bhagwan wants us to do we do. You see how much we do that. We think that we will become special only when all our resolves are fulfilled and completed and all my plans are executed successfully. This is the understanding of us to become special. I will become special only when all my resolves are completed, all my plans are fulfilled, everything attains success. That is when I'm successful. Remember, that is not correct at all. Remember what Bhagwan is trying to say. We must pay attention to Bhagwan on here. Bhagwan has not used the word karma arabhate here. Bhagwan said karma yoga arabhate. Karma arabhate means Bhagwan is not saying that this person is going to begin in action. Bhagwan says no. Bhagwan says karma yoga arabhate. This person is going to begin karma yoga from here. When we start working towards as a devotion to God, remember the best thing is that we will always, with whatever we do, we look up to Bhagwan. Is God happy with my work? With my work, am I getting closer to God? Am I being in the category of somebody who is actually loved by God, or liked, if not loved, liked by God? Am I doing something to become likable by God? Am I doing something which God likes? And when we start thinking on those lines, when we thinking these things in our mind, when we start to employ our organs of action and end up doing organs of actions into the fields of action, remember, that is when we can say that we are able to understand this seventh verse, understand the aspect of seventh verse in some respect, so to say. Rather, when we end up doing all our actions keeping this in mind, the happiness of God, that it is something which God should love, it is something which should be dear to God. When I start out working towards doing all of my action keeping these things in mind, that is when I can say that I'm trying to live according to what has been taught or said by Bhagwan in this verse number 7. And experience it yourself, that as far as we are able to stretch ourselves to make this word asakta, or free from attachment, and to happen within us, or to establish within us, remember, so long we will be able to establish ourselves in karma yoga. As far as this word asakta is a failure in our life, so long as we will be a failure in the path of karma yoga, or we will be failing in the path of karma yoga. Now in this verse, actually, two facilitating factors which Bhagwan said about, or gave the seekers as a teaching, two facilitating factors of karma yoga which Bhagwan gave as a teaching for the seekers is, one is actually becoming free from attachment, mean asakta. The second is indriyani niyamya, controlling our organs of, when I say indriyani here, it's not karmendriya here, please don't forget what I spoke about in the last session. Indriyani niyamya means jnanendriyani niyamya. By exercising control over our organs of knowledge, means whatever we consume or whatever we intake from our organs of knowledge or senses of knowledge should not be something which is non-consumable, should not be something by which our mental health is disturbed, our our mind becomes diseased. It should not inflict our mind. It should not pollute our mind. It should not corrupt our mind from whatever we consume from these organs of knowledge. Remember, as I mentioned, ahara shuddhi. Ahara shuddhi means purity of whatever we consume. It's about external. The food we eat also comes under ahar. But when I say ahar, here I'm talking about all that we intake from all the five organs of knowledge. Ahara shuddhi, or the purity of whatever we intake, or purity of what we consume, and asakta, being free from attachment. These two things will help us establish karma yoga within us. Remember, that time what Bhagwan gave as a promise here starts to definitely happen for us, which is the promise of Bhagwan, the words of Bhagwan here: saha vishishyate. This person will start becoming special. It will definitely starts to happen for us also, and nobody can stop that in this world, because Bhagwan is with us. Now, moving on from this particular verse, I've explained all the aspects of this verse to you. Who will go to the next verse. Now Arjun has said in his question, Tadekam vada nischitya. Bhagwan, deciding, or pointing out one particular thing. Bhagwan, tell me, ekam vada nischitya. Tell me that one thing which I should start doing, rather than giving me all the past here. That is what Bhagwan is going to answer in the next verse, which is the verse number 8 of this third chapter. But before I go to that verse, I will read Pujya Gurudev's commentary on verse 3.7, and then we will move on to the verse number 3.8. Pujya Gurudev says, in these two innocent looking lines, we have the entire science of right action and the complete technique of right living. The economics of thought is a science unknown to the modern world, while the thought economists of yore carved out a Rishi India and guided the country to the golden era of its spiritual culture. The mind is fed and sustained, nurtured and nourished by the five organs of perception, with stimuli drawn from the outer world of sense objects. The mind in us, as it were, flows out through the sense organs, and when it comes in contact with their respective objects, the sense organs perceive them. If the mind is not cooperating with the sense organs, perception is impossible, even though the objects may be within the field of the organs. That is why sometimes when we are deeply attentive and fully interested in reading a book, we do not hear even when somebody calls us at our elbow. Examples can be multiplied. The prescription contained in this stanza asks a seeker to control the sense organs by the mind. This can be effectively achieved only when the mind is given a brighter and diviner field to roam about in. To control the impetuosity of the mind, which sheer will is like an attempt to dam a river while it is in flood. It is destined to be a futile attempt. Later on, the Gita will explain the technique of this control. This control of sense organs by the mind is only the negative aspect of the entire technique of right living. Ordinarily, we spend a lot of our life energies in the fields of sense objects. When the sense organs are thus controlled, we are conserving a large quantity of energy, and unless this gathered energy is immediately given a profitable field of activity, it is sure to break the bounds and flood the inner world, and perhaps sweep away the entire personality equilibrium. The second line of this stanza advises us what we should do with the energies thus saved from their usual fields of dissipation. The stanza says that these energies must be spent in directing the seeker's organs of action to the appropriate fields of activities. Even here, a very important precaution has been lovingly advised by Bhagwan Krishna. The Karma Yogin has been warned to act with perfect detachment. When a camera is loaded with piece of plain white paper, however long we may keep the lenses open against any well-lit object, no impression of the object concerned can dirty the paper. On the other hand, if that very same sheet of paper is sensitized, then even a slight exposure will leave the impressions of the object upon it. Similarly, a mind plastered with attachment soon gathers onto itself impressions, vasanas, during its contacts in the external fields of activity. The Lord advises us to act without attachment so that instead of gathering new impressions, we may make use of our activities for exhaustion of the existing vasana dirt in our mental equipment. The logical and scientific exposition of this theory is so complete that no student of the Gita can discover in it any loopholes for hesitation or doubt. By withdrawing the organs of perception from their unprofitable fields of activity, we save on the inner energy which is spent through the organs of activity on a chosen field of work. Because of our inner attitude of non-attachment during the activity, no new rubbish is gathered by our mind. But on the contrary, it gets itself burnished by the removal of its existing mental dirt. The very field of activity which ordinarily becomes a snare to capture and imprison a soaring soul itself becomes the exact art of self-liberation when it is rightly employed by faithfully following the way of life advised in the Gita. That's what Puja Gurudev has to say in his commentary on verse number 7. Now we'll move into the verse number 8 of the third chapter. Verse number 8. नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः. Beautiful verse again. Now this is an answer. In the first quarter of this verse, Bhagwan has answered Arjun's question of Tadekam vada nischitya. Arjun, for you, I would say, Niyatam karma kuru. You do your set duties, what has been assigned to you. Now, Bhagwan is saying here, now there are a few aspects of this verse which I'll bring out here. Detail we'll see in the next session. The biggest thing we need to pay attention towards what Bhagwan is telling Arjun is, Arjun, remember this, what I want you to do, as compared to a life of procrastination or laziness, a life of action is far, far better, far, far supreme. Now remember, Bhagwan is not telling this to only Indians. Bhagwan is telling this to the entire human race, the entire mankind, all across the globe, all across any cosmos, so to say. Now, Bhagwan has said earlier also, in the second chapter, verse number 47, Bhagwan has said, Mate Sangha Astu Akarmani. Arjun, don't get attached to inaction at all. Don't grow, don't move towards or don't generate love towards inaction. Don't generate love towards laziness. Don't fall prey to laziness, procrastination, or inaction. Definitely, for sure, as compared to inaction and as compared to pramad. Pramad means alasya or laziness, so to say, pramad, as compared to both of them, doing an action is definitely far supreme, far better, far best. Even in the common parlance also, you will see people say in the common parlance when they explain people is that, don't look at person's face or beauty of the face, look at person's action. A person becomes beautiful not by his face, his or her face. Person becomes beautiful by his or her work. This is a common parlance thing which people talk about in the world, in the transactional world I'm talking about, and that is correct also. Remember, when we start working, when we start acting, that's when people starts to look up to us, right? People look up to us for our work, not for how we look. How you look can give you followers, can give you here and there way to earn money and all for some time, but that's not what it is. But your work will show you what you are going to gain in terms of how people will look up to you. Remember, a man becomes dear by his or her work. If a person leads a life of laziness and procrastination and does not have any focus and attention towards things in life, remember, and will continuously entertain the kind of what you call the demands of the body, right? It tantrums of this body and the senses. Remember, for that person, carrying the weight of this life will become extremely difficult. Carrying the weight of this life itself will become extremely difficult. You know, thing is, all of us carry the weight of our body anyway, but remember one thing, our personality weight is far more heavier than the weight of the body. If we cultivate and carve out good personality, we will become lighter and lighter, and our travel in this life will become easy. A man with bad personality carved out, and always adhering to, or running around on fulfilling the tantrums of the body and the senses, will always be having a very heavy baggage to carry in this life. Even when we are all travelers in this life, so to say. So whenever we travel anywhere, it's an advice given by many people who travel a lot, is that try to travel as light as possible. Why? When you travel light, your journey will become comfortable. If you travel heavy, your journey is going to become very uncomfortable. In the same way, travel light means what? Do your duty, develop and grow in love and devotion for God, so that your journey becomes lighter and lighter. Today, what we are doing, our baggage is becoming heavier and heavier day by the load of vasanas we are generating day after day. Day after day, we are generating new vasanas, new vasanas. Is there an end to all these things at all, or no? So that's what we need to understand. From womb to tomb means from birth to death, the journey which we all have to lead is the journey of this life, right? And if this journey is not filled with happiness, if this journey is not filled with pride, remember, na prasiddhyedhi akarmana. That's what Bhagwan says. Our life will become very difficult to lead actually. Remember, Arjun, definitely a life of inaction is definitely not popular at all. Na prasiddhyed. It will never gain you anything in life as you move along this journey of life. That is why we should never choose this option of inaction at all. We should try and come out of our procrastination and laziness as much as possible. Why? Because it is completely against nature the way we are sent into this world. It is completely against the nature of this life also. So we, if we end up doing that, we are actually going against the nature of life. The nature of life is what? The nature of life is what? That without action, nobody can live even for a moment, which Bhagavan has already said earlier. The second and disadvantage of that is the journey of this life will also not be correct, will also not be in the right path and direction for this person at all. That is why Bhagavan says, Arjun, niyatam karma kuru. You do your or assigned duties, you do your destined duties. Now, whenever I say duties, there is a lot of questions which come into the mind of many people about the duties. So anyway, we will take up this topic in the next session. And because now we are almost at the completion of this particular session, in the next session I'll read the bhashya of this particular verse. I did not read it. Why? Because Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji has explained beautifully this word of Bhagwan, Niyatam Karma. What do you mean by Niyatam Karma? And we must understand this in its correct depth to understand what are the assigned duties which Bhagwan is talking about. And uh, today we are having in this occasion of Mahalaya Amavasya. So I would want to pray for ancestors of all our listeners. May our ancestors grace and blessings and protection be with us throughout our life, so that that protection and that grace and blessings becomes an added asset for us, added asset to help us in this smooth journey of our life. And this Mahalaya Amavasya is also called Mahapitra Amavasya. And this day, we definitely do Ganga Snan and other things and offer Pinddan and all for all our ancestors, us who have been in our family lineage. So this is a day to remember all of them. May they be happy wherever they are. May they be having a fulfilled life wherever they are. I seek their grace and blessings and protection to move on in my life. With that, we will complete the session for today. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्य सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम तत्सत्।